All right, so check it out. Instead of doing the all-day training vlog, this morning I had a lot of work to do. I'm getting ready to go to Dubai to do a seminar this weekend, so had to get prepared for the seminar, do some work in the morning. So I'm gonna combine the two. Usually I would ruck in the morning, weight training over at night, and then I would do Muay Thai in the afternoon. But since I had a long morning of work, just being on the computer, I have to go ahead, and it is what it is, right? So we have to put these two together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my ruck training now, and then I'm gonna go right into the gym and do the lower body work. So today's focus is a heavy day, right? So the heavy day is gonna be consisted of intervals. So I'm gonna do 80 pounds is inside of the ruck. I'm gonna do 15-minute intervals. I'm gonna do 3 rounds of that with 2-minute recovery. So the goal is to go fast, but obviously you can't go too fast with 80 pounds on your back. So I'm gonna go as fast as I can safely, 15 minutes on, 2 minutes off for 3 rounds, and I'm gonna go right into the weight room and do some lower body work and get after it. So follow along, let's do it. So we got a 2-minute recovery. I averaged a mile within under 15 minutes. So we got the first 15 minutes down, got a mile down with it. The main thing when I'm running is I want to make sure that I'm not lifting my legs and extending my hips too much. And the only reason for that really is so that the bag doesn't just bang the shit out of my shoulders as I go up and down and causing like a jarring force every time I take a step. So it's really just like dropping my hips down a little bit, putting more pressure down on my quads, and essentially skating, right? Sliding my feet through and gaining more speed and, you know, getting more distance covered in a faster amount of time because my feet are moving faster. So higher cadence with less push off, but the cadence is key. If I can maintain that cadence without getting taxed too much from a endurance standpoint, be good. You know, muscular endurance wise, I feel like I'm good there. There's 80 pounds in the sack right now, so not a big deal. I've been up to as high as 120 pounds on my back. So this week is somewhat of a deload because we pushed back the ruck from Memorial Day to now July 4th. We wanted to give the foundation some more time. So if you guys do want to support, go to the link down below, the link in the description, Ruck 150. You can support our troops. You can support all of the 3 foundations that I'm working towards to gain more funds for them. And if you want to join me, do a couple miles with a weight vest or a ruck on, July 2nd through the 4th, let us know, come down to Florida and we'll make it happen. We got about a minute left and I'm gonna get back on for my second set. All right, so 45 minutes of work done. Roughly 14 to 15 minute per mile pace. It's a good pace with 80 pounds on the ruck itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the hydration here. Give myself like 10, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And then I'll get in there to do the weight room work. All right, guys, so moving on to the weight room work. Started off with some hip shifts. These are 90-90 hip shifts. Right here, I'm just trying to get my hips rotating appropriately, firing up the adductors, getting my hips moving. After the ruck, obviously you've seen that a lot of stress on the legs, a lot of stress on the hips, the knees, so on and so forth. So getting myself prepared and activate the muscles to allow me to do the work ahead inside the weight room. Then I'm gonna move on to the banded ankle rocker terminal knee extension, right? So the ankle rocker is to not only increase tendon stiffness and strength of the lower limbs, but with the terminal knee extension, with the band wrapped around the backside of my knee, I'm working on knee extension and finishing through with hip extension. So it is working the entire lower limb all the way up the kinetic chain into the hips, right? So that's gonna be one set of 10 each side. And the tempo is important. So you're gonna do about a 5-second eccentric, nice and slow and controlled, maintaining a good position. Then I'm gonna drive up as fast but as controlled as possible. So it's gonna be a 5-1-X-1 on the tempo. Next thing I'm gonna be doing is a hip circle floating heel clamshell. So again, still maintaining that position of the heel slightly off of the bumper plate there, maintaining the position, working the soleus, working the calves, working the posterior tib. We are gonna be doing the clamshell. Now the clamshell, or you could say abduction primarily. And all I'm doing here is just firing up my glute medius at the same time maintaining a position of my foot on that bumper plate. So 1 set of 10 reps each side there. The next thing I'm going to be doing is a hip circle side walk. So again, still working on abduction, maintaining a good position. I'm also floating the heel off of the ground, still maintaining that tension there, getting the lower limbs primed and ready to go for the work ahead, especially when I start going into these low-level plyos. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is a single leg pogo. So now we're getting into those low-level plyometrics. I'm gonna hold on to the rack for balance, but the goal is to get off of the bumper and off of the floor as fast as possible. So a fast amortization phase, making sure that I'm twitchy, right? We're reacting efficiently and we're increasing tendon stiffness with this. The next one we're gonna do is a switch step. This one is just gonna be on and off the bumper plate as fast as possible. This is more for twitchiness, neuromuscular control, activation of all the muscles that can fire fast and efficiently. Again, 1 set of 10 seconds on this. Then we're gonna switch it over to more of a lateral component. So working through the frontal plane, doing a side switch step. That's gonna be 1 set of 10 seconds, just making sure you're on and off the bumper as fast as possible, changing direction as quick as you can for pure agility. And then the last one is a scissor step. Again, you still wanna be fast and quick, making sure you're on and off that bumper, and then I'm moving around the bumper plate. So I'm gonna go left for 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna go back to the right for 10 seconds, not stopping at all, making sure that I'm able to change direction by still maintaining that scissor step motion. All right, so moving on to the explosive power work. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start off with tall kneeling pop-up box jumps. The reason for the tall kneeling is that, one, I'm able to get a double hip extension. So now as I go to drive off of the floor, I have to get in a full hip extension and then pull my knees up to land appropriately on the floor, and then redirect force as I hit the ground, change that direction and go vertical up onto the box. All right, the next one is gonna be a half kneeling lateral push box jump. And same concept, right? We're gonna be pushing lateral through that frontal plane, landing on both feet, and then redirecting force to a vertical position, going up using vertical force displacement, landing on the box with 2 feet, again, reducing that impact force. 2 sets of 5 each side there. All right, moving on to the strength training portion. So with a recent biomechanics test, right, we ran through some movement assessments, and we saw some discrepancy, some compensation through my hip on the right side. Now, if you guys haven't seen or haven't been on my channel before, I had an ACL tear about 2.5 years ago. So had to get that reconstructed. It's all good now. We had good rehab. You can actually watch the full surgery on my channel if you are inclined to do so, but beware, it is gruesome. Now, with that being said though, there is still some weakness in my right side. So I want to work on improving the deep knee flexion, working on the quads in general, getting them stronger so that we can close the gap on the compensation strategies and increase my strength overall. So I'm gonna be using a hack squat position, or hack squat exercise per se, for my main lift. Now I'm gonna be doing a 4x5, but the last set is gonna be an all-out 5-rep max. So the first set, somewhat of a warm-up, working around 65 to 70%. Then I'll be going up to 75% for the second set. The third set will be 80%, and then the last set will be 83 to 85% working into a max 5. All right, so I'll take down that number, make sure that I have that locked in so that the next time I go back to retest, it will be slightly higher. Now moving on to the supplemental lift. Haven't used these in a while, but decided to throw them in. So these are the Jefferson deadlifts. Now the reason why I like these is because of the way I orientate my feet. It allows me to hit my glutes, hit my quads, hit my hamstrings, also maintain a position with my low back. So your core is also going to be engaged. Your lats have to be engaged. It's just an all-around good movement. And so for this one, you're going to do 3 sets of 5 each side. And I'm just going to use a reps in reserve of 2 here. So work your way up, making sure that you have a good solid tempo. Somewhere around a 3, 1, 1, 1 would be fine. And then making sure that you're maintaining a good postured position so you're not dipping forward, your shoulders aren't rounding, so you don't hurt your low back. All right, the last one is going to be a superset. We're going to go ahead and do lying hamstring curls at a 3 sets by 8 repetitions with the reps in reserve of 2. Supersetting that right away with walking lunges. Now this is going to be body weight. I'm going to try to maintain this position, try to maintain that line, following that line of movement, not falling out of place. And I'm also going to get some slight rotation with my trunk. So this is just to finish it off. We're going to go ahead and do 3 sets of 8 on each. Usually I would wait about 60 seconds in between the superset, but for this one I just went right into it just to finish it off. If you feel good, by all means go ahead and do so and finish off the day. So that was pretty much it. All right, so there it is. Another day done. Rucking completed, weight training completed. If you want to support Ruck 150, by all means do so by clicking the link down below in the description. You'll find out all the details on what I'll be trying to or will be accomplishing come July 4th. All right, so 150 miles, 50 miles a day for 3 days straight, making it happen. Just another day in the office. See you guys next time. Get back a little bit. Peace. Bye.